Welcome back to Northwoods Survival. I'm BP, and it's time to test our grit against a Yukon. Good morning from the third day of June. It is a sunny, beautiful morning. Got up, had some breakfast. Just going to run the sawmill for a little bit while we get caught up on everything that's going on. Hope you enjoyed the time-lapse episode 11 and a half, on that second half of the last episode, so June, day 2. Just needed to get a bunch of log work done, as you guys saw. So I threw it on a time-lapse for you. Try to keep it interesting. We did clear a pretty significant area over here to the right. This is going to be our new sort of lumber loading pad. Get everything dragged here and loaded, give us enough space to do it. So that was a big success. We got the hay bales put in the shed, and it did rain during that episode, or the second half of the day, so those are protected as well. We do have a really interesting Timber Pro TL 740 or 745D in the sale, 58% off, $62,565. This would be a beast for us to have on the farm and be able to, or on the in camp, and be able to cut down some logs. We don't have enough money to buy it now, and quite frankly, the attachments are like I think the grapples are 25 and the feller buncher header, like the cutter header, is like 55. So I'm not even sure if we could really afford it. Even if we get that on sale, we may not have enough money to buy the other attachments. So we're going to have to see how that plays out today. That's part of the reason I did want to run the sawmill a little bit this morning. Just get a little bit of cash on the ground here. 2 pallets of everything, long and short planks and beams. This tree has been driving me nuts just because I can't get through here on this corner adequately. I keep getting caught on it. So we're going to fell this into the mill and just have it in there for next time. Just don't feel like it's in a good spot for us there. So jump over here and get that put into the mill. And we are good to go. So what is the plan for today? The plan for today is to get on that driveway and pad project we took technically 2 episodes ago now. We need to get the driveway cleared. We have good weather. We're going to put some strain on the old Ford today because we're going to take the skidder over there to do the driveway work. And it's just too big for the Ford. We can't afford to drive it over there as slow as it is. I would love to have a truck and a big heavy-duty trailer to be able to move some equipment around. We don't have the money for that. There's nothing in the sale. We are, as always in the Yukon, going to have to make it work with what we got. So gonna put the skidder on the trailer with the Ford. As I said, I expect that's going to be pretty stressful on the Ford. I'm hoping it doesn't cause us any repairs or issues, but we have a job to get done and we need to get the equipment over there, so that's just the way it's gonna be for today. So all loaded up and good to go there. We'll hop off. Let's get a strap put on right off the rip. And there's the rest of the straps. There's the ramps. Yeah, 12 tons. We are a bit overweight by about 4 tons pulling this thing, but that is the way the cookie crumbles today. So, the plan when we get over there, we have permission to sell the logs that we clear for the driveway and the pad. So we're going to cut them to length, or fell them, I should say, and then delimb them, use the skidder to drag them directly to the sawmill. The advantage of this project is we are right there at the sawmill, so we're going to be able to make some money that way fairly quickly here. We might do a little bit of an experiment cutting trees up. If we get a couple of trees the same length, maybe we'll try some stuff. I do get a lot of feedback about the length of the logs, and yes, there is some value difference, but overall, we're sort of within the general sweet spot of the best-selling logs. Could we min-max a little bit more? Absolutely. Do we need to make the most out of every trailer load we take over there as far as getting trees down and off the property? Yeah, we probably do. So I think there's a balance there. If we're not leaving thousands of dollars per load, then obviously I think we're good. If we are, in the end of the day, if it's $250 to $500, if we were to, have 2 extra logs per load because we loaded them this way or cut them that way, I'm not going to stress about that. We can't afford to worry about the minutia of the stuff, particularly when we're up here. We could just have 3 feet of snow tomorrow, and we might be able to sell 0 logs. So keeping things moving is the way to go, and we will go from there. I do think, maybe we'll throw a line in the water when we get to the other side. We haven't sort of fished over on the other side, over here where I'm looking. Maybe try a little different spot. Maybe I'll run down to the end of the pier area on this side and just throw a line in the water and see if we can catch some lunch while we're here. Also, another idea, we could wait and fish from that pad over there, because once that cabin is built, no one will be fishing there except for the owner. So maybe we take advantage of having access to the land for today and do some fishing on a spot on the river that we won't be able to fish ever again once that cabin's built. So maybe that's a good idea. So let's go ahead and get started here, and we're going to head out, trying to keep the speed and the RPMs down because we are so overloaded. As I said, would love to have a big truck and trailer to pull some equipment around the map and get stuff moving, but we are just starting out. Having a skidder has proved to be a huge benefit in moving logs, and as you guys saw in the time-lapse video, we are using the blade on the back of the skidder, which is fairly large, as a backstop for loading those logs, and that, as I said, was a huge... it just made loading the logs that much easier, more fun. and we didn't have to worry about coming over the top and trying to pick them up. So feel like we're starting to get a bit of a process down here, which I think is great news. I suspect there will be a lot of timber work in our future, so being more efficient, more effective, and getting more done with the equipment we have is the name of the game. Part of the reason I'd love that Timber Pro, but it might be too early. We just probably don't have enough money to really justify that. And I'm still, look at this, guys, I'm still driving over here to the right. I could have taken that bridge to the left and gotten to the same place. Would have given us actually a better route. Would have been a little less narrow. But hey, we'll get there. We will figure it out. So we're going to pull up here. I think we're just going to walk down, start felling stuff, start pulling stuff. I'm going to leave the truck tucked way up over here by the grass so that we're not in the way of the skidder getting down to the mill. Let's get straightened out to get off the trailer here. All right. Our first foray into some contracting work. Let's see what we get into here. Actually, just going to turn that off. We'll get the gate open. We do need to fell all the trees away from us. That's going to make moving them a lot easier. Oh, we got to get our chainsaw. I think we're out of bar oil. Let me get that fixed, and I'll be right back. All right, chainsaw's ready to go. And away we go. First bit of commercial timber work we're getting paid to do for somebody else. I don't know if this is going to be a long-term source of income for us. Try to get some of this brush cleared up here too if we can. And we're definitely going to have to widen this. This is not wide enough. This is going to be tough even to get our skidder back here, as narrow as it is. So deliming this one. And I don't know if this deadwood's going to fall the right way or not. It might just do its own thing. Yeah, it sort of gave us half of what we wanted. Alright, I'm going to put a bunch of this on a time lapse until we get to taking it to the mill part, and I'll see you guys in a minute. I think we got everything cut all the way back. Tried to fell some of the deadwood that was just hanging around, that was too close to the road. Didn't want any of that hanging over. Nothing like having a deadwood tree fall on a truck. So I think we're in good shape there. We should be able to widen the road a little bit with the Bobcat. These little trees are funny. They did not want to fall over, so we'll see how those go. Don't anticipate getting a whole bunch of money for the deadwood trees, but something is better than nothing, so we will see how that goes. Gonna drag these first two over there. I think we're gonna cut them to 6 meters and see if that maximizes, how that maximizes our money. That should be about what we can do. It's a little shorter than we actually cut them when we're putting them in the trailer because we need to use the full length of the trailer. But since we're dragging them directly to the sell point here today, no harm in getting them cut to where we need or where we get the most for them. So I'll get a bunch of these dragged over, and I will keep you guys updated. But for right now, I think we'll be back on a time lapse here until there's something to report. See you guys in a little bit. that's a wrap for the road. Let's get these cut and sold. We made $2,500 on the first set. I thought maybe we'd wait and do the rest together. So, I'm going to cut these to about 6. As I said, I don't really stress about it very much. As long as we're close, it's not a big deal. So here we are. Getting all the way across. Plus, a lot of this, the vast majority of this is dead wood, which is not going to be worth much no matter how we cut it. So, if it wasn't such a pain to bring back and forth, I might just bring this back and put it in my mill. And then that way not have to worry about it not selling for very much and just get the literage out of it. So let's see. Right in here. Right about there is good. So I think there's only 2 non-dead wood big trees in here. The rest are just garbage wood. Maybe should have looked at that a little more before we took the contract. We're still getting paid to do it regardless, so not a big deal in the end, but certainly not going to make as much money as we thought. So here we are. Most of these are going to be about to length as it is. So we are wrapping up. I think after this we'll drive down there, maybe see if we can catch a fish for lunch in the river, and consider getting to work on the landing there, or on the pad, when we're done. So let's get this sold. $2,500 plus $4,100. So we're at $6,600 for the day. About 65% of the money we're getting paid for the job, and we still have the landing to do. So could be good. Let's run down to the pad now. The pad area they cleared is mud because they went to the end of the access road and then did a bunch of grinding. So it absolutely might be a situation where we're getting stuck. Not sure we're going to be able to pull logs out of there real effectively. Once we get them back to the access road, it's not too bad. So this might be cause for a break. Maybe go get the case with some gravel and come back and start graveling that pad around those trees so we can get some grip. We'll just have to see. I mean, the skidder has done well in the snow. It's done well in the mud so far, but we are certainly going to be testing its limits when we get all the way back in here. That dead wood up here on the right might need to go as well. It's not really overhanging the road. We'll just have to see. We'll check it out and see what they want us to do, or maybe have them come take a look and give us some feedback. But I'm pretty confident at this stage we can get the road widened, or the access road widened down there, so we can get some big equipment in here and they can get their construction going. It is just now going to be a matter of getting this pad cleared out. Now, the good news is it looks like there's some more good trees on the pad. The bad news, as we discussed, you guys can see, that's where I pulled on just a little bit. It is mud. So, we're going to take a quick break, see what we can catch. Let's head on down to the water's edge. May pull those 2 deadwoods out for these guys. I don't think they want the deadwoods in their view of the river. So maybe we'll squeeze down here and take those out. Not really going to make us any money, but not a big deal. So let's see what we can do about getting something to eat. Maybe get lucky and catch something on the very first cast. Or maybe there aren't any fish in this part of the river. We'll just have to wait and see. A little bit of activity here. Alright, we got something on. Gonna be lucky and get a fish right off the rip. We got more. Oh, we did. Giant salmon. Okay. We are fed for the day. 1 cast, 1 fish. That's not fishing, that's sniping right there. Just nailed it. So let's see about getting these trees around here removed. As I said, I do feel like we can probably get rid of these deadwoods that are on the outside of the property. I don't think anyone's going to be real keen on keeping those around. This little guy here, try to get him cut as close to the ground as possible. I'm going to try to fell them so the stumps are facing towards the drive. I'm sorry, the trunks are facing towards the drive, so getting them out of here might be a bit easier. That last batch we took was a rat's nest of trees. Oh, we got this one's acting up. Sinking right back into the mud. Sometimes we had luck cutting these on a little bit of an angle, see if we can get them to fall, and other times they just do exactly what that one did and just fall where they want. We missed a deadwood in here. So I'd say we got about half the wood cut and done this morning before we stopped and got some food. So we are in good shape there. Do need to actually stop and eat. Just feeling good about the progress we're making. You know, when you're in rhythm, you don't want to stop. So we'll have to take a break here in a minute regardless, but it does feel good to be making progress. So let's see here. Any luck cutting it this way? Oh, maybe. There she is. Now she's down. And the little ones, the binder on the skidder has a hard time getting around the narrow ends. We had to attach in the middle of a couple of those, which certainly was not the most effective way to drag those. But I was impressed. I mean, the deadwoods don't weigh a lot, but the skidder certainly pulled quite a few deadwoods. I think that one load, we got 6 moving. We couldn't get going very far, but 3 deadwoods at a time was not really a problem. I bet we could do 4. So, nice to know the skidder is here to get the job done. Alright, put your vote in now. This one's going to fall over, we're going to stick back on the ground. Alright, there you go. Oh, a little bit of both. Getting both options there, folks. Getting these stumps ground out is going to be a challenge because the case is not going to want to maneuver in all this mud. We're going to have to get some gravel in and go from there. I mean, the good news is they did the mulching back here, so we don't have to do too much mulching. It's really just getting the stumps cleaned up and then graveling everything in. So, grab another one of these. And I think, yeah, I said we'd probably take care of those 2 in their view. I'm sure they don't want a nice scenic cabin with a view of some deadwood, so we'll give that a go when the time comes. Alright, anything? Nope. Alright, well, I'm going to drag these up. We'll do the same thing. Put this back on a time-lapse, but before that happens, I'm going to eat my lunch. So if we have success getting through the mud with the skidders, you'll see a time-lapse of me getting all these trees dragged up there. If we have problems, you'll see me after lunch and we'll be going to get the skidder, or going to get the case. I'll see you guys after lunch. Just getting the last group of trees brought down from the landing. I'm going to put that on a time lapse. We ended up doing a little bit of mud driving, a little bit of winching, sort of a little bit of everything to get everything down here. But the pad is cleared, and those 2 deadwood in front of the river are also down here now. So we are in good shape. Basically, at this point, we've completed the timber work minus the stump grinding. So we will go from there. I do think I'm going to get the 2 good pines, since we only have 2 of them. Let's get them squared up so we can cut them the way we want and get them at the right length with the rest of them. So let's go right here. I have been very impressed with how long the winch line is on the skidder. We had 1 tree, if you guys go back at the end and watch the time lapse of clearing the pad, 1 tree that we couldn't reach from the drive. That is very, very impressive. So first and foremost, I found a tree on the way back that was still standing that we had cut, so let's go ahead and get that guy delimbed, and then let's go ahead and get the menu turned on so we can see how long we are. Alright, 4.7, 6 right in here. Perfect. And this one is 6 right here, so I think we'll take all these and get them basically at the same spot. We're going to need to fade a little bit to the right because they're fanning out that way. I'm a little concerned we're going to lose a couple of these in the water, but I think the trigger will hit the water as well, so we'll see how that plays out. And one last one there. Okay, so coming back, it is a decent amount of wood here, I agree. So we made $6,600 on the first round of wood that we delivered. Well, the first 2 rounds, we did the one, and then we did the one at the end. So if we can make $4 grand on this one, which doesn't seem unreasonable, we will basically double our money on the contract. We're getting paid $10,000 for the work, and we can make $10,000 in wood. We would be $20,000 towards having some money in the bank at that stage. So wouldn't be a bad place to be. These end pieces, yeah, we're not even going to bother trimming them. It just cuts the ends off, and I don't think we get credit for those anyways. So $6,600 so far in wood today, clearing the lot. Another 43. So yep, we made our 10 grand additional in wood. So I'm going to get this guy loaded up. And actually, do we even bother driving him? Yeah, we'll drive him back up. I say we just drive the truck down here if we wanted. And guys, I have really been thinking about that Timber Pro in the sale. We are 8 grand away essentially from being able to buy it, and I am certain that the wood products we made in our mill this morning would cover that. It's a huge upgrade as far as equipment goes for our operations. I don't know. I mean, if we need $55,000 more to buy a header for that, it is going to be tough to basically make that work. So I just don't know. We could buy a truck, a big truck and a trailer, which would allow us to move equipment further. We definitely need to be getting into bigger forestry equipment, you know, as we progress regardless. It's not like we won't need that equipment. The question is it worth buying right now? And I think that's what I'm struggling with. You know what? We may not be coming back today. Let's go ahead and leave these guys locked up and closed up so they are secure if need be. There's really nothing back there, but just in case some kids come back here on their dirt bikes or something, they're not wandering into private property, or at least we know they had to open the gate to do it. So we'll head on back. We'll get unloaded. Yeah, I mean, I guess the easy decision is if somebody already bought it, then it really doesn't matter. If the Timber Pro is not in the sale this afternoon, because I've been down here most of the day. We got down here, I think, around 10 o'clock, and it is 3. So, I mean, somebody could have picked it up. It's a great deal on an incredible piece of equipment. It's always possible that we could end up with, you know, a grapple or a buncher in the sale as well to go with it. Not likely, but it is possible. Or we just continue doing what we got to do until we have the money to buy the supporting equipment. It is a tough decision. I just need to figure out what we want to do. So here's the deal. We're going to pull up to the barge, or to the ferry, and on the ferry I'm going to check the sale, and if it is still in the sale, we're going to load the wood up, we're going to head to town, and we're going to buy it. And if not, then it wasn't meant to be, and we can go to bed knowing that we did what we could, but we never had the money to buy it. So we will let fate decide. So let's get the ferry moving. And moment of truth, pull up the old store app, see what we have. It's gone. But look what took its place. Look at this thing. This thing is crazy. All right, well, there you go, guys. It was not meant to be. We did not get the money made in time. We never could have afforded it, so we didn't miss any opportunities. So at this point, I think we'll head on back. Maybe we'll do a little bit. We'll just run the mill again till tonight. Get some money ready for tomorrow, and that way if more stuff pops up in the sale, we have the opportunity to take advantage of it. But I think overall a very, very productive day. So, you know, we got about half, maybe a little more than a third, but maybe a little less than half the project done with the trees. I think the tree is getting the trees cut on that property time-wise was a big project, but we're going to have a lot of moving parts to grind the stumps, get the gravel over there, be running the gravel back and forth. I think that's going to take a bit of time too. So a very, very productive day here in June, and hopefully all we got to do now is make it back with the Ford significantly overloaded. I mean, it's doing okay, but this load is definitely too heavy. Glad we have a big trailer that's distributing some of the weight onto the axles of the trailer, and hopefully we don't regret pulling this huge skidder that significantly outweighs the capacity of our Ford to the mill and back. But we will, I guess time will tell if that is going to be the case. So made it back and got the skidder unloaded. Just gonna run the sawmill here for a couple hours and get some more products out. Like I said, want to have some money on the ground in case we have opportunities for later. And I think before we're done for the night, we're going to go get a tanker full of water. So got just a little bit more time here before we can let that go. All right, that'll do her right there. Let's go ahead and get this shut off. Done and done. Excellent. Let's grab the Polaris and head down to our new ramp. Excited not to have to worry about falling in. Do have to be a little bit careful. Cows look very happy this morning. Checked on their food, checked on the chicken food, and made sure our seed was topped off earlier. 1,175 liters in the cistern, so that's not too bad either. Oh, this is actually full, so let's go ahead and get that emptied, and we'll go fill it up regardless. Nice. So we are in good shape there. Okay, so using the new ramp, got to get all squared up and top it off. Maybe we'll even get 2 loads of water. Depends on how much we have. It's nice to have the cistern full and have our little tanker topped off. That way we're always sort of like a full step ahead of the process. That way if we were to get snow or get rained in or mud or whatever or have an issue, we really are about as prepared as we can be. So there we go. Just get those wheels into the water and get that topped off. Starting to get a little bit dark. Maybe some lights would help. Let's go put this in, and if it takes even a significant amount of it, not even half, but even just a chunk of it, we'll come back in and top it off. Like I said, enjoy being prepared and ahead. Gives us the freedom to pursue other opportunities when we can. And we've had a very, very productive day. Got the path cleared back to the build site for our construction project contract. Ran the mills this morning and tonight. You can see we've got 4 pallets of long planks and beams and 3 pallets of regular planks. Got some money sitting there ready to go in the bank. If the weather looked bad, we might have taken some time and loaded it into the shed for tonight, but I suspect tomorrow we will be loading that on the trailer to take it up to sell. And who knows, maybe there'll even be something in the sale that is worth buying. We'll have to figure all of that out. Not the neatest reverse job we've ever done, but it'll get the job done. We're going to pull in here and close the gate. I do want to get that gravel pit moved up into the yard. I just really don't want to do it with the case and the small bucket. Really want to have something a little bit bigger than that. So all closed up for the night. Very successful episode and day here in the Yukon. Got a whole bunch done. Thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications for more videos. Channel memberships are available if you'd like to support my content further. And channel members do get early access to upcoming videos, private members-only channels over in Discord, and access to our members' exclusive G Portal server as well. So check those benefits out if you are a member. That's going to be all from the Northwoods for today, but I'll see you in the next one.